together perfectly.
And it's very one of the very few comic book characters, even back then, that was covered from head to toe. Like, if Captain America, you still have this much of his face. Spider-Man's completely enveloped in his costume.
Oh, you know the good thing about that?
Yes.
You could be any kid.
Yeah.
You could be black. You could be Asian. You
Right.
could be Indian. You
Right.
could be anything. And imagine you were in that costume.
Right.
So I think that made it relevant to everybody everywhere.
Right.
And that was accidental. I mean,
Right.
I don't think we planned it that way, but
Right.
it was very fortuitous.
You get credited with, and I know you're not even comfortable with it, with creator of this, and you're always the first person in the room to point out that it wasn't just you. As you said before, it's a very collaborative medium. And I know there are people that, in the case of Jack Kirby, there must be a point of contention between Stan and Jack, blah, blah, blah. And that's not the case. Let's talk about
Well, what happened was, Steve is really the guy who brought this to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Spider-Man was my idea.
Yes.
Even gave it to Jack first, didn't want it, then gave it to Steve. Steve feels, since he drew it
Right.
and gave it life, so to speak,
Right.
that he created it as much as I do.
Right.
I did. Now, in my heart of hearts,
Uh-huh.
I feel the guy who comes up with the concept is the guy who created
father,
it.
sure.
But Steve feels, and I hope he doesn't, when he sees this, doesn't feel I'm quoting him wrong.
Right.
He feels that the person who physically gives it life is the co-creator. Otherwise, all I had was an idea, which was nothing solid.
Right.
Now, while I don't really agree with that,
Uh-huh.
I have enough respect for Steve and for the other artists
Mm-hmm.
that I am very happy and very comfortable
Mm-hmm.
to call myself the co-creator
Right.
of all of these things.
And you coined the phrase, with great power comes great responsibility, which is everyone that knows Spider-Man knows that line.
You know, it's funny. I never thought it would catch on that way, but sometimes people will meet me and say, "Hey, didn't you do Spider-Man?" I'll say, "Yeah." They say, "With great power comes..." It's incredible. I love it.
So at what point do you hand over the reins of Spider-Man, and to whom? And was that tough?
Well, artistically, Steve eventually left after, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, some amount of books.
Mm-hmm.
And John Romita took over
Mm-hmm.
as the artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, John, John doesn't draw like Steve. His
Right.
style is different. But I said, we don't want to disturb the readers by suddenly seeing a totally different style.
Right.
Do you think you could make it look like Steve for a while?
Right.
Bless him, he did such a great job. Those first few issues looked like Steve had done them. But then little